Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pacers Daily. I'm your host, Hery Acosta. Today, we're going to talk about some quick topics, starting off with Johnny Furphy. What an absolute poster of a dunk that Furphy had in the Summer League game against Chicago. One of the craziest dunks I've personally seen. Behind the back, winds it all the way up, straight tomahawk. Um, I've just been watching Furphy throughout the Summer League. I thought he was playing good whenever he got the chance, whenever he got the minutes. But, I mean, realistically, we could see Furphy's minutes go up in 2025. Obviously, with injuries, with rotations pretty much switching because of new players coming in or players leaving that were part of the rotation, we could see someone like Furphy actually get more minutes. Now, he could always go down to Noblesville Boom, get some time there, as it would be great for him to really get that experience while he's down there. He's still very young. He's only 20 years old. Want to see what he can do, whether it's in the G League or in the NBA. Either way, it's going to be fun. Had a 15-point game against Chicago. Obviously, it was a loss, but team's looking pretty nice. The summer league players that are gonna come back to Indy for next season, and I'm very excited to see what someone like Johnny Furphy could do on an NBA court. Obviously, played last season, didn't really get too much of a chance. All of Indiana loves Furphy. We always celebrate whenever he gets on the court, but very excited to see what he does next season. Now, some quick news. Jalil Okafor signed with Leavanga Hokkaido in Japan. The third pick of the 2015 draft, taken after Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. Okafor came into the league and dominated in his first season, but once Joel Embiid came back and Okafor kind of lost his footing on the Sixers, then he kind of bounced around with the Nets, with the Pelicans. Just obviously ended up on the Pacers this year. Only really played in garbage time. He was signed before we got Bradley. Pacers wanted to see what he could do. Now, he did average 18 and 10 with the Mad Ants, and he was looking pretty good in the G League, but as a third overall pick, you kind of want to make your mark in the NBA, and unfortunately Okafor never really did. But now he goes to Japan where he could really carve something out. We've seen a lot of draft busts become absolute legends overseas. Everyone knows Jimmer Fredette is a Chinese Basketball Association legend. Another one that was really good in China was Stephon Marbury. He was an absolute baller in China as well. And then other players will get drafted into the NBA but end up having to really build a career overseas in Spain or Croatia or Turkey. With players like Nikola Mirotic, he still had NBA talent but ended up leaving to, just play better, get more recognition, earn more rewards. Happens a lot. Wish Jalil Okafor the best of luck. Now, talking a little bit about the Summer League. Currently 1-2. Win against the Cavaliers, losses against the Thunder and the Bulls. Obviously, Summer League is more of a showcase just to kind of see what the young players and the players who are really looking to make rosters can do. Like, we all know Furphy's going to be on the team. We all know Cam Jones is going to be on the team. Enrique Freeman has his two-way spot. So does Ray J. But it's also nice to see some of the players that are going to most likely be playing for Noblesville Boom, just to see if there's obviously injury, you can call up a player and sign him to a 10-day. Or if there's a really impressive player that you would like over another player, sign them on a two-way contract, and then so on and so on. But it's been interesting watching the Summer League, just seeing how the young Pacers players really adapt and kind of find their way in the NBA, whether it's their first season, whether it's their second, whether they're coming back after not really being in the league for a while. We see that happen a lot in the Summer League, where a player could have been drafted in 2018 but has kind of fizzled out of the NBA and then want to get back in the Summer League. But just, players like Furphy, Dennis, Enrique Freeman having some pretty good summer league outings. So they're definitely looking to not obviously they're gonna make the roster. That's not the issue. The issue is fighting for minutes, and players like Freeman and Dennis are gonna spend most of their time in the G League. So having them just trying to get that experience and just seeing what they can do on this level. Freeman didn't really get too much playing time. Dennis only ever played in garbage time. So who knows? They could end up becoming a bigger part of the roster. One of them could be signed to a standard contract if there's a trade or someone else leaves or if there's an injury. So that's definitely something to look out for. And then just a quick little topic talking about Pascal Siakam. Because there's not really a bunch of news going on right now about the Pacers, and I kind of wanted to switch gears from everything that's going on. So, just kind of talk about how Siakam now needs to be the number one option. Now, he was the most consistent player on the Pacers in 2024, which is why he was an All-Star, because he averaged 20 points throughout the season. He was our best rebounder, averaged about 7 rebounds a game. He had double doubles all throughout the year. Just someone who you can rely on, someone who's won a championship, someone who's now a 3-time All-Star. He could have been All NBA, but once Halliburton picked it up after the All-Star break, from January past the All-Star break, there was really no denying that Halliburton was going to be All NBA. But Siakam this year, if the Pacers want to succeed, he's going to have another All-Star season. He's going to have to be a vocal leader like he's always been. We saw him in many press conferences during the playoffs saying the job's not done yet. I mean, we're doing good, but the job's not done yet. So he's a guy who's won it all. He's been a big name in the league since that 2019 championship. He was a late first-round pick that didn't really blossom until the 2018-19 season when he got to pair up with Kawhi Leonard, playing with Fred VanVleet, playing with Kyle Lowry, just a lot of players that can utilize his skill set. But now his 1-2 game with Halliburton was one of the best to watch in the league. So he's going to have to develop that kind of game with either Nembhard, with Mathurin, with Nesmith, just whoever can get him the ball in the low post. You know Siakam's going to make that 9 out of 10 times. One of the best mid-range shooters in the league, has developed a three-point game, can drive, can dunk, he can pretty much do anything on the court. Also a pretty good defender. So I would really like to see how Siakam kind of transitions into the overall, pretty much the star of the team. And obviously, analysts and other people talked about how Siakam was the star already. I still think Halliburton was the star of the team, while Siakam, I would say both of them were the stars of the team. I wouldn't say there was a true star. Both of them were the stars of the team. Both of them are good at what they do. But now it's going to have to be all Siakam, and then hopefully Mathurin steps up as a star. Hopefully Nembhard steps up as a star. Heck, hopefully Isaiah Jackson steps up as a star. Just kind of see what we have, but I would really like to see how Siakam's leadership plays into effect in 2025 and just kind of how the team does with him being that leader. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Hopefully more news comes out, more big performances in the summer league, a trade, more signings, seeing where Thomas Bryant goes, just all that kind of stuff. Definitely check back here, see where all that's going. But as always, I'm your host, Hery Acosta. This is Pacers Daily. Boom, baby, and go, Sirs.